Chosen one, there is something the universe has been preparing behind the scenes of your life that you are not yet able to see. And I need you to hear this before the noise of your own doubt drowns it out. Someone is coming. And it won't be some time in the future that never seems to come. Now, during this time of year, in this chapter that you have already decided in secret might be the last one. This part will make you question everything you've been telling yourself. They were born before you. And that's not by accident, or because the universe messed up the timing. They are younger than you, because the kind of love that was always meant to find you needs someone who was born before you. Someone who doesn't see the years you've lived as a curse, but as a treasure. There will be someone who holds your face and says, "I'm not leaving you." And this time you will believe them, because the voice behind them is different. You're not too old. You were never that. If that sentence made you feel something, like pressure, heat, or softness that didn't belong, I need you to stay, because this message isn't random. You didn't just happen to find it. People who don't need it don't get things from the universe. There is something very specific being moved around in your life right now to make room for what is about to come through your door. Remember that you are here right now. Type, "I am not too late," in the comments right now, if that makes you think of something you've been holding in silence. For yourself, not for anyone else. To mark this as the point at which the story went in a different direction. I know what you've been though. Think about how old you are, and how easy it seems for other people to find love. Then do the math. Also, the math doesn't make sense. Based on the numbers, the window is now closed. The good ones are already taken, according to the math. Anyone who comes now has damage, baggage, and a list of reasons why they couldn't make it work with someone their own age. Is that right? I have to tell you something though. You were never meant to use this math to figure out what the universe is doing. The math you're using is made by humans. And human-made math can't explain how things work out. It doesn't explain why your whole journey, every broken relationship, every night you cried yourself to sleep, and every morning you woke up with the wrong person, or by yourself, was worth it. The shape was formed. It was a careful, methodical, and sometimes painful process that got you ready for the person who would stay. Let me pause on one more thing, because you've been carrying a wound that most people don't talk about. Not the hurt of losing a loved one. The wound of betrayal is not it. Something less loud than that. This is something that is below the surface. When you think that your time for love has already passed, it hurts. The best, most beautiful years are over. Someone could have loved you when you were at your best. When you see younger people in love, you don't feel jealousy, you feel grief. You feel sad about a part of yourself that never lived. Some people feel grief over the love they thought they would receive 10 or 20 years ago, but never did. What you've been carrying has a name. It's what I call the late bloom wound. And it's one of the worst things that can happen to chosen ones this season. The late bloom wound is more than just being sad about time passing. It's a set of beliefs. Since years ago, this lie has been building up inside you piece by piece. Every birthday that went by without a partner added to the wall. Every wedding you went to by yourself added to the wall. It was like a brick was laid every time someone said, "You will find someone." You smiled, but inside you died a little. You are now living in a building you did not intend to build. A structure that says, "It's too late for me. Anything that comes now will be a consolation prize." And real love the kind that makes you feel chosen, adored and deeply, permanently wanted. That was for a younger version of me that no longer exists. But here's what the universe wants you to know right now. That set of rules is not truth, it's an engineering job. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site, you are entering a community of like-minded believers. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give, and it will be given to you, is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose, join the conversation, and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today, join our community, and see what God brings back into your life. It was made by a certain method, which I need to show you so you can understand it. The way it works is like this. Your nervous system did something to protect you when you lost a relationship, whether it was a breakup, a betrayal, a divorce, or just years of being empty that never went away. The pain you felt was linked to the time it happened, and then that time was moved forward. If love didn't come when things were at their best, it won't come now that things are tougher. It mixed up when something happened with whether it was possible, and it turned that confusion into a quiet, permanent decision about your future. That's not true. Your age doesn't matter. You're not. That time has gone by. It has. Though the lie is the truth. Your nervous system came to the wrong conclusion, which is the lie. The story that says the window is closed is a lie, because the window was never open in the first place. It was an old door that wouldn't close. It's okay for doors to close. For now, you haven't let yourself be loved again. There's no way the universe can reach you at that depth, because you made a deal with yourself deep down. A deal that says, I won't expect anything more. I'll lower the bar. I'll take whatever comes my way because wanting more at my age is silly. That deal was not smart. That deal was really a wound. Here's where the new part of your story starts. The years you spent by yourself were not wasted. The world did not forget about you for those years. They had to prepare for years. And they couldn't have cut that time short without ruining what they were building. Imagine a tree that doesn't bear fruit for 40 years. No one says it was too late for the fruit. The fruit grew when the roots were strong enough to support it, and the branches were big enough to hold it. It also grew during the right season. That's your story. You're not behind schedule. You're deep. You're not behind. You're strong. Because it didn't come sooner. The love that is coming to you now will last. You wouldn't have been ready. They wouldn't have been ready. That's because the soil in your heart had to get ready to hold what was being sent. It's time for me to answer the age question. There is something in your conditioning that will fight against the fact that the universe is sending you someone younger. It will make you wonder what they could see in you. When you look in the mirror, you'll see people who are different from you from 15 years ago. You can feel the difference. So far, you don't understand that the person who is coming doesn't see things the way you do. This message will make that clear to you. They do not see a drop, they don't see the fade. They find something in people their own age that they haven't found anywhere else. Being there. In depth. A warmth that can only come from someone who has been through the fire and come out still soft. It always goes the same way. Even though I've seen this pattern a lot of times. When they show up, it's not someone who chose an older partner, because they couldn't find someone their own age. The person who shows up has been looking for the kind of soul that can only be made by living for a long time, whether they are aware of it or not. They don't want young people. These people want to feel safe. They want someone who has been through a lot and knows what is important and what is not. Someone who doesn't play games. Someone who can keep their cool. Someone who makes them feel like they're at home, even though they haven't been able to find one. Something in you knows that what is being said is true, and that is not an accident if you are still listening. It is in line. If you can feel it, type "the door is open" in the comments. What you're feeling now is the start of a shift that has been waiting for this very moment to happen. Now I want to take you further, because it's not enough to just know that loves will come. It's more important to know why the universe set things up the way they are, which is something most people never hear. Why younger? Why now? Why you? To answer your question, I need to name something else that has been going on beneath the surface of all of your relationships. Something that has affected every relationship you've ever had, every partner you've ever picked, and every time love seemed to elude you. This is not what you think it is. I call it the age lie. Being told you are too old is not the age lie. That is the sign. The age lie is the idea that love should happen at the right time, that the right person will come along at the right age, that 25 is the age of passion, 35 is the age of settling down, 45 is the age of compromise, and any age after that is the age of getting whatever you can get. This idea is held by many people. It's in the movies. It's in the tales people tell. The way your family looks at you when you show up to another event by yourself shows how much they care. People ask, "Are you seeing anyone?" And you say, "Not right now." Then there is a moment of silence, and everyone quickly changes the subject. You learned from the age lie that love is less valuable as time goes on. That the person who comes now is somehow less important than the person who could have come before. The most sneaky thing about the age lie is that it looks like the truth. There is proof. It shows your empty bed. As you look at your phone, it doesn't ring with someone saying, "I miss you." It then says, "See, the numbers speak for themselves." But the numbers are wrong. It's not that the facts are wrong. It's that the equation is wrong. The equation assumes that love is a resource that is running out. Every year, it's thought that the number of souls who are compatible lessens. However, the universe is not based on a pool. It's a sound wave. Your frequency right now is stronger than it has ever been in your life. It's the frequency of someone who has been strong, honest, and open even when making yourself closed off felt safer. There is no weaker signal coming from you. For the first time ever, your signal is very clear. And the person who is tuned to that frequency is the one who is coming, no matter how old you are, because of it. Please think about this for a moment. Try to close your eyes. no matter where you are sitting or lying, feel how heavy your body is. In your chest, feel the weight that has been there. The weight of years of waiting, years of wondering, and years of seeing other people get what you wanted. I have a question for you now. What if that weight isn't grief? What if it's the sun? There is something big, real, and close to you that is pulling you toward it even before you can see it. What you've been feeling heavy is not the weight of loss. It's the weight of being close. Your body knows that something huge is nearby, but your mind doesn't. In ancient Hebrew, there is a thought called hesed. It's often translated as loving kindness, but that's not a full translation. When you love someone with hesed, you love them without thinking about it, or keeping a record of it. Hesed is the love you've been looking for your whole life, but have never known the name of. It's the kind of love that says, I know everything about you, every mistake, every secret, every year, and I'm not leaving. This moment is holy because of this. You are being sent a hesed person by the universe. They are coming because they are hesed at their core, and it took them until now to be ready to give it. It's not just you who changes the time. It's also about them. What made them the person who could love you the way you need to be loved was their own painful journey. And it took a while, not because they were late, but because depth is slow and real love isn't put together on a factory line. It was made in the same fire that you walked through. They're younger because their fire was different, not less strong or shorter. It was just different. And the shape their fire made is the same shape your fire made in you. Here's something about the kind of person you are before this message goes on to what I know is coming next. Being alone wasn't a mistake for someone like you. Because you wouldn't pretend, you ended up by yourself. You weren't going to settle for a love that was easy but empty. You wouldn't call a relationship home when it felt more like a hotel. Something in the universe noticed every time. You left something that was almost right. It's not because you're broken that you have trouble with love. Because your standards are so high, you have a hard time with love. Not in the way that everyone thinks it means. High in a way that counts. The room needs to be able to change temperature when that person is there. Someone who fills up the space between sounds. Someone who makes you feel like you've finally reached a goal you've had your whole life when you're sitting next to them. A frequency that two people share means that they were meant to be together. At least not in the usual sense of the word. Not an attraction that goes away. There is a frequency that hums under speech, touch, and even closeness. Being understood without having to explain yourself is what it means. Of being held without being grabbed. Of being wanted just the way you need to be wanted. This is the rarest thing the universe makes. I call it the companion frequency. That is not possible to make the companion frequency. It can't be made through hard work, compatibility tests, or hobbies that you both enjoy. There is it between two people when they have both been through, given, lost, and stayed open enough that their inner landscapes match. Not their circumstances, but their depths. The universe isn't sending you someone your age. Because the person your age, who is deep enough for you, has already found their partner, closed down, or had their fire shape them for someone else. The person who is a good match for your companion frequency is younger. Not because they are younger, but because their journey at their own pace took them to the same depths as yours. There are two roads that lead to the same clearing. That isn't a mistake. That is the point. And it doesn't look like what you see in movies, When two people on the companion frequency find each other. It's less noisy. Your eyes meet for no reason, and something in your chest says, "There you are." Not as a stranger, but as a sign that the moment is coming for you. The companion frequency doesn't read calendars, so your age has nothing to do with it. It says, "Souls, let's take a moment to hold something in front of you before we go on." In the last few years, scientists have found something that most people who are interested in the mind, emotions, and ability to connect have never heard of. Not because it goes against what is holy, but because most of us aren't paying attention to it. A doctor in New York led a small group of neuroscientists who found something about the way the brain is built that explains something that spiritually sensitive people have felt, but never been able to put their finger on. It has roots in a Nobel Prize, but it's so easy to use that at first it seems almost sketchy. After this message, I'll tell you what they found, but hold on to this question for now. What if the reason your heart feels fuzzy, connectivity is hard, and you haven't been able to fully receive what the universe keeps trying to give you isn't emotional damage? How would you feel if someone took something from you in your brain? What if you could get it back? Put that question on hold. We'll get back to it since you tried. I know you've tried. You've been on dates. The apps are now open. Friends who meant well asked you to meet someone, and every time you did, something happened. Either they couldn't match you, you couldn't feel it, the timing fell apart. Or you got close enough to know it wasn't the one, and you pulled away into the silence again. And after doing that enough times, you began to believe it. Not a big belief, just a quiet one. A thought that stays in the background and speaks to you at night when the house is too quiet. A belief that says, maybe this is just how it is for me. Maybe I am the one who does not get that. Maybe my role in this life is something else. Something useful and meaningful, but not that. Not the kind of love that makes you cry from gratitude that another person exists. I need to challenge that belief directly, because it is not true. And the universe did not bring you to this message to validate it. The universe brought you to this message to end it. You are not the exception. You are not the person the design skipped. You are the person the design has been protecting, because the universe knew long before you did that a lesser love would have broken you. Not because you are weak, because you are sensitive in a way that most people are not. You feel at a depth that most people never reach. And if the wrong person had been placed in your life, and you had invested the fullness of who you are into someone who could not hold it, the damage would have been catastrophic. Not just to your heart, to your calling. The universe was not withholding love. The universe was guarding the depth at which you are capable of loving, until the person who could match that depth was ready. The person who is coming needed time too. They needed to live. They needed to be hurt. They needed to discover that the kind of connection they crave does not exist in people who have not yet been broken and reassembled by life. They needed to search in all the wrong places, long enough to recognize the right place when they found it. And when they find you, when they arrive in your life, they will not see an older person who is past their prime. They will see a sanctuary, a place where they finally do not have to perform or pretend, or be anything other than exactly who they are. You will be their last love. Not because of obligation, not because of circumstance, because after you, there is nowhere else to go. After you, the search is over. Not because they settled, because they arrived. If that truth is landing in your body right now, type last love in the comments. Declare it, because declaration has weight, and the universe responds to weight. Now, I need to take you into the practical territory of what this actually looks like in your life, because understanding that love is coming is not enough. You need to understand how to receive it when it arrives. And this is where most chosen ones stumble. Not because they do not want love, but because the very wound that delayed their love also built a defense system that now threatens to block it. Here is how the defense system works. When love has been absent for a long time, the nervous system adapts. It creates a new normal. And that new normal includes the absence of love as a baseline. So, when love actually arrives, the nervous system does not register it as an answer to prayer. It registers it as a disruption, as a threat to the equilibrium it worked so hard to build. This is why many chosen ones meet the right person and feel anxiety instead of peace. It is why they sabotage connections that feel too easy, too warm, too safe. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description, or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history, it is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. Not because the link is flawed, but because the nervous system has been in survival mode for so long that being safe feels dangerous. Now I need to talk about the fourth thing I want to in this message. There needs to be something that will help you get past the resistance your body will put up when love finally comes knocking. It's what I call the second spring protocol. One idea is at the heart of the second spring protocol. To get love, you don't have to change into someone else. Your nervous system needs to be given permission to change what it thinks is normal. Inside your body, normal, right now means, I am alone. I am in charge. I'm okay. You were happy with that definition. It helped you get through years that would have broken someone less tough. But it's no longer useful. You will push away the very thing you have been praying for. If you don't keep it up to date. It's not hard to follow the 3 parts of the second spring protocol. But you have to be honest. Part 1: Stop practicing being absent. When you call yourself alone or talk about being single, as if it were your identity, you are reinforcing the old definition. Your brain and nerves are telling each other, this is who we are. Change the way you talk about yourself by calling yourself someone who is about to change. Being honest about the fact that the present situation is not permanent is better than lying or pretending. The things you say about yourself tell your body what to do. Part 2: Get used to receiving little things. Do not brush off a compliment if someone gives it to you. Do not rush through a door that someone opens for you with your head down. Do not say, "Oh, stop," if someone tells you that you look beautiful today. Let it hit the ground. You can feel it. Every little thing you do when you receive trains your nervous system to think it is safe to receive. And when the big moment comes, when the person shows up, your body will be ready to open the gate and let them in. Part 3: Be honest about what you miss, and then let go of it. You lost years. That's true. You've been due love for a long time. That's also true. And if you don't honor your grief, It will filter everything else in your life from sweetness to bitterness. So, just for one night, let yourself feel everything that you didn't get. If you need to cry, if you need to get mad, after you feel better, say out loud, I release the version of my life that did not happen. I am ready for the one that is beginning. I have seen other people do this. A 53-year-old woman who had been divorced for 11 years. She gave up hope that anyone would pick her again. She changed the way she talked about herself. She stopped being scared of small gestures after a while. And after a few months, a man 9 years her junior came into her life. He looked at her with a respect that you can't fake. 61-year-old man who had lost his wife and had been sad for 7 years. He was certain that chapter was over. But something opened up when he let himself fully grieve. A woman 15 years his junior found him and told him, I've been looking for someone just like you. Not young, someone real. These are not fairy tales. These look like patterns. Plus it always looks the same. Let go of the old story. Make changes to the nervous system. Clear the way. And what was always being saved for last comes at such a fast rate that it looks like a miracle, but is actually a restoration. The loop has been open since the beginning of this message. Now I want to close it. I asked you to hold a question about what happens when the brain works the way it was meant to work. What was taken? And how it can be returned in a very specific way. To get to the answer to that question, this part of the message has to go through a lot of different insights about the late bloom wound, the age lie, and the companion frequency. These insights help the answer land where it needs to land. As the things they found are not facts. They found a way to fix things. Another thing is that a solution is only useful if you fully understand the issue it solves. You now know what the shape is. This message, on the other hand, never says this. Not only is what you've learned up to this point correct, but what comes next will make it even more useful. Knowing about the wound does not mean that it is healed. For example, calling out a lie does not mean that it is no longer in your nervous system. And spiritual insight cannot fix a brain that is not working at the level it was designed to. That's not a lack of faith. Because of how biology works, even the most dedicated spiritual life can't get around that. You may have noticed something, but never been able to explain it. Some days you feel clear, open, and in the present. The love you want seems not only possible, but also certain to happen. Some days, everything gets foggy. Even though nothing has changed outside. The hope goes away. The clarity goes away. The future seemed so close yesterday, but now it seems out of reach again. That is not a sign of emotional instability. That's not being weak. That is the waveform of a brain that doesn't have its two halves working together perfectly. Everything is affected by that change. Your faith, your happiness, your openness to love, and your strength to stay open when fear tells you to close. You didn't know these things at the start of this message, but now you do. The late bloom wound is a certain pattern that connects emotional loss to time, and sees it as a set-in-stone outcome. People think that love becomes less important as you get older. This is called the age lie. The companion frequency is the deep resonance between two people whose inner landscapes are the same, even if they were born at different times. As well, the second spring protocol shows you how to update your nervous system so you can receive what is coming. The identity that ties it all together is easy to see. You were the one who bloomed late. What was planted in you takes longer to grow and lasts longer once it gets there. It's not that you were forgotten. Most people have already stopped reading their love stories before they get to yours. And your depth is what makes the person who comes fall in love with something they can't find anywhere else. That's what you've been. That's not the person you have to stay with. Someone in a research lab made a discovery in 1981 that won the Nobel Prize. They didn't come from a church or a seminary. Instead, they came from a California Institute of Technology neuroscience lab. Dr. Roger Sperry proved that the human brain has two hemispheres, one on the left and one on the right. When these hemispheres are synchronized, or working together as they were meant to, the brain functions in a way that most people have only experienced as children. 98% of kids are what scientists call creative genius level. The two halves naturally fire at the same time. Thoughts come to mind. Your intuition is strong. Everything about being able to receive, trust, connect, and love without thinking about it is easy. Stress, heartbreak, loneliness, and routine in modern life, on the other hand, make the synchronization less strong. Less than 1 in 1,000 people keep it up as adults. The fog, disconnectivity, and feeling that something important inside you has been turned off, and you can't reach it come in its place. A woman from California told me what it was like before she found the answer I'm about to give you. She did everything possible. Prayer, writing in a journal, meditation, everything that her community suggested she do. She kept coming back to the same experience. She thought what they said. She couldn't feel what was really going on. Not in her body, not in her relationships, and not in the way her days were lived. She said something got better after 10 days. A channel that had been closed off was opened up all of a sudden. It wasn't because she worked harder. The receiver had been fixed. Something similar was said by a man from Texas. Someone who had spent years keeping things together for other people, while his own life got thin and far away. He said that love began to feel like something he gave, but didn't feel coming back. From their end, the receiver worked. Something wasn't right on his end. When he woke up 2 weeks later, he said that his mind was running on everything it was supposed to run on. The space that had been between him and his closest friends and family was gone. It's not because they changed, but because he became better able to receive them. That's because of what the group I'm about to talk about worked on for years. Neuroscientists in New York, led by Dr. took more than an hour of clinical neural sync technology, a type of whole brain activation protocol used in certain situations, and turned it into an 8-minute targeted auditory sequence by making a lot of small changes. 24 hours a week, closed eyes and headphones on. There you have it, the only physical requirement. The smart switch is what they call it. The Genius Switch isn't an app for meditation, or a sound that will make you feel a certain way. Based on Dr. Roger Sperry's Nobel Prize-winning research, this is a specific sequence of sounds that were designed to connect the two hemispheres and bring back the normal state of brain activity that kids had when they were young. If you've used tools that sound similar before and not been impressed, Dr. Barron talks about this right away. What most people have seen only looks at a small part of the picture. What he and his team made aims to synchronize the two halves of the brain at the level of the whole brain using a multi-layer protocol that was developed over many years of clinical testing. That's a different mechanism that leads to a different kind of result. Not everyone can use the Genius Switch. For the chosen one who knows that the universe not only made the love, but also the mind that needs to receive it. The person who has been honest for years, done the work, felt called to something deeper, and kept coming back to it, even when the evidence wasn't there. This person is ready to stop seeing the fog as a permanent state, and start seeing it as something with a specific address. Most people who hear this will scroll on by. They have agreed that the smaller version of their capacity will always be there. You're still here. That isn't a mistake. With that kind of persistence, the person this was made for will be successful. Dr. Barone's coworkers said this would be a great deal even at 500. Neurofeedback sessions that take place in person cost $300 an hour. It costs $7,000 for a home machine. That being said, Dr. Barone did not build this for clinics. It was made for people like you. Not 500, not 200, not 100. It was priced at $49 by the team. Today there is an extra $39 discount on the page that the link below takes you to. Plus, that level comes with 4 free bonuses. One of which is a guided visualization from a top-rated Calm app creator that will help you see how your life is going in 4 areas: love, money, health, and happiness. This smart grocery shopping guide lists 10 common foods that make brain fog worse and can help you save more than $100 a month. This is a classic text on manifestation that is over 100 years old and is thought to be the source of all modern manifestation techniques. And a printable infographic with 5 habits that will help you make the changes stick in your daily life. And you can get your money back in full. No questions asked, just listen once. 80 times listen. It will get every dollar back if it doesn't do what it has done for over 18,000 people. There are no conditions. Not a question, not any hoop. After this page, the 39 access is not guaranteed. Dr. Barone has told us that the price is going to go up. That's not stress. It really does look like that when you only have limited access to clinical-grade neurological restoration. One thing that needs to be named. You can find tracks online if you look for something that sounds like it. They were looked at by Dr. Barone and his team. Most of them didn't have any neural sync technology built in at all. They used the name because there isn't much that stops you from calling something that. How it works is what makes it different. And the mechanism is only in the thing that his team made. The only source that has been checked is the direct page. That's where the link below takes you. There is a link in the description below, and in the pinned comment, that will take you to where Dr. Barone and his team made it available, if what was said speaks to you. Not anywhere else. Before you decide, you can read everything on their page. It's easy to see every detail. The tool doesn't take the place of the universe. The tool doesn't take the place of being open. It doesn't love you. It doesn't bring them to your door. There's no tool that can change what the universe is doing in your life. When the receiver is fixed, however, what the universe does becomes more of what it was meant to land in. You should be able to connect, feel trust, and let someone younger love you without getting defensive. In a brain, all of that either works together or it doesn't. The tool takes care of the synchronization. The love talks to the rest. Those who were chosen and felt something move when the mind was described can still go through that door. It's only a small step, but small steps taken after a mind has been healed have changed whole love stories. Please let the deeper part of this message come back to you. The universe wants you to see something about the person who is coming. Something that will get rid of the last objection you have in your mind. You're scared of what people will think of the age difference and how they might look at you. I want to tell you something I've learned from seeing hundreds of these plans come together. The only people who care about your love story are those who are happy with their own. All the time. The person who chose depth will always be able to stump the person who chose convenience. You don't need to worry about their confusion. It's great that you care. Will you be open to the person the universe has been setting up to come into your life? What are you going to do to let them love you without shrinking? What are you going to do to stand in their way? The gap is the gift. The way the connection is built is what makes your years different. You bring something that people their age can't find. They remind you of something you forgot you had. A freshness that lets you see yourself, not through the lens of your past mistakes, but through the lens of your present brilliance. You are two frequencies that were always meant to work together. Think about the morning of 6 months from now. When you wake up, the bed isn't empty. There's someone there. Someone whose breathing you already know by heart. Someone whose hand can find yours in the dark, without having to look. The first thing you feel, when you lie there for a moment, is not stress. Not the old question of, how long will this last? The first thing that makes you feel calm. A sense of calm that is so strong it lives in your bones. You're not having fun. You're at home. The person next to you is there, because they found what they were looking for all along you. That morning is not a dream. Right now, in a place you can't see, but your spirit knows exists, the future is being put together. That person lying in bed is the same person, but one thing has changed: they have permission to be there. Giving yourself permission to believe that you deserve that love at this age. Time doesn't separate who you are now from who you will be in the morning. It's not luck. You have to decide not to believe the lie that your season is over, and start living as if the next person who walks through your door could be the one the universe has been saving for you. Before I end this message, I want to say something big about your life that I don't say often. You've dealt with being alone with grace. A lot of people don't know what it takes to keep your heart open year after year when nothing good happens. To keep believing in something, even though you don't have proof of it. To keep setting a table for someone who hasn't shown up yet. Being brave didn't go to waste. It was seen by others. The stars saw every night. Even the tears you tried not to show anyone. You always put on a brave face and said, "I'm fine," even though you weren't. It seemed like every prayer hit the ceiling. All of it was seen. It was all written down. And the answer is about to come out. That will make every second of the wait make sense. Now I need to do something I've been working on since this message began. I need to say something about your love life. Not a wish or a hope, but a fact. The kind that echoes in the invisible world, and moves things around that have been stuck. Allow myself to let go of the lie that says, I am too old to be deeply, passionately, permanently loved. I let go of the decision that my nervous system made when the pain was fresh and the evidence was strong. I let go of the sadness I felt about not getting love during the years I thought I should have. I let go of the fear that says, the person who comes will leave when they realize what they could have had with someone their own age. I let go of everything, each and every wall and brick. I let go of every quiet resignation that tried to look like maturity. My love story starts now, not 10 years ago or in a past life. I am the chosen one. Now, at this age, in this body, with these hands, this heart, and this depth that I alone can bring. I bloom late and stay alive for a long time. It's me who they've been looking for a safe place to stay. Somebody younger than me has been praying for years, without letting anyone know my name. I am the answer to their prayer. I'm not too old. I'm just the right age. I'm not too much. I'm just what they need. They will never want another love after me. They're the last love I'll ever need. You are about to enter your divine future. But remember, this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary, where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." On this platform, every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall, share your heart, and as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now, join the family, and see your heavens open. Now is the time you've been waiting for. Fill out, "I am the last love," in the box below. Say it out loud. Let your voice carry the weight of a long-buried truth. That's how it is. The lie is no longer true. The wound has a name. It's easy to hear, and the love that has always been yours is no longer being held back. The thing is moving. It's coming toward you. What will you know when it gets there? Not that it's perfect, but that it's home. Send this message to someone you know, who has been telling themselves they are too old, and living with this wound. To save your life, not as advice. Picture their face now. When two people walk by, that friend's eyes get quiet, even though they joke about being alone. The parent who forgot to take care of themselves and gave everything to everyone else. Send this to them. Click the share button. Let the person this message was meant for get it. For those of you who felt something that this message touched, please press the like button slowly. Not for me, but for the next person who needs this message. The person into whose feed the universe wants to send this. One thing you do can change the course of someone else's love story. Also, join this space if you haven't already. Join the thousands of others who have been chosen to believe that the deepest parts of their lives are still to come. You were never by yourself during this. You were just early to a meeting that was just starting to fill up. It's not a tragedy if the chosen one blooms late. The world wasn't ready for this miracle until now. And the coming love doesn't make things better. It's your reward for every year you stayed open, even though it would have been easier to close. Take it. You can have it. That's how it is. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected, faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment, a place where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary, where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.